Most people try to complete their Grasshopper definition at once. I do the opposite. And in this video, I'll be walking you through the exact steps that I'm taking when I'm preparing my Grasshopper definition in chunks. So the biggest problem that I see, many people try to build the whole definition at once. This makes Grasshopper feel very, very messy very quickly because people try to pull the components that they think they will use and try to connect them literally without thinking. And when they do this, it becomes really hard to understand the system behind what you are doing in your script. And when you have too many parts or components together, it's pretty difficult to understand what is not working rather than what is working. Because remember, when you reopen this Grasshopper definition in a few days, you probably started to see a messy rather than a clear composition of what you have built. So instead of this, what I do create chunks. And with these chunks, each chunk have one particular job that it needs to do. And I test each part or chunk before I connect to the next one. And I label them clearly so I exactly know what that chunk is doing when I revisit that definition. So if you remember the yesterday's example file, we created a facade system or rotating fins on that facade system. Today, I add this particular small thing here. So sort the lines based on the height, because if I share my screen with you, so the problem with this definition, I'll be dividing this into chunks, yet the surface that I have, maybe I can turn that on real quick to show you the problem with this. So the surface that we had yesterday was this. And sometimes when we have this one surface, you see, instead of having the fins on the top of each cell, it puts the fins on the bottom. The reason for that is sometimes we create surfaces with different approaches, therefore their UVs are kind of changing. To avoid this, I can take this to one surface, and when I am having my edges, what I can do, I can sort these values based on their midpoints, Z coordinates. And when I do this, I basically have the Z component or Z coordinate as my driver. And then when I connect this as my list, I started to see that, you see, 0 is always selected, meaning the bottom pieces. And when I have this tree, it'll be always selecting the top line. When I change this surface, so when I even change this surface to this guy, I will see the same result. You see, all the surfaces obviously are finned, or fins are rotating on the bottom top, but I need to provide this kind of attractor point here. So if I remove this back, I have this as my surface, and I can hide this. So how do we chunk this? Then if I go back to my Google Doc, you see, create the grid, explode each square, extract top lines is one chunk, right? So I need to get this chunk. I go back to my Rhino and I get this as my chunk. So what I can do, I can press Control G, pull out a scribble, and then type chunk 1, get the cells, or however you will remember better, okay? And I select my text, add to group, I add this to my group. Then if I go back again, what I see, get the starting point, add one attractive point and measure the distance. So in this case, we sort them out as well, okay? So what I can do is, I can even increase the number of chunks because now I have a new piece here. So I can pull another scribble and then put chunk 2, get top line, add to group, copy it and paste. Chunk 3, get the starting point, because that's the plane for rotation. I can group them all. I can put this here, group this, pull out a scribble, and I can maybe change the name of this one because it's kind of important. I would say attractor point, and maybe it's needed to be a little more red, and even more red while increasing the alpha value. We don't need to chunk that. And if we can put another scribble here, chunk 4, attraction distance, and pull that guy in. By the way, real quick, if you want to get an access to this Grasshopper exercise file, follow the link in description and join my community for free. And we can group this with scribble, get, scribble, double click, chunk 5, create the fins, and add this to this group as well. So that's how you, oh, maybe I can go back. That's how you create your Grasshopper definition. Now you exactly know each part or what you did in each part, and you remember next time, and it will be a lot easier for you to share this document with your colleagues too. So this is very helpful because now each step has a clear role. The canvas stays easier to read. It becomes easier to find the problems in specific chunks so that you can zoom in. And you don't need to guess where the problem is because you already create the color code for yourself, and the whole thing becomes a little more manageable. So the main idea is please do not try to build everything at once. Build one clear chain at a time, test it, and when it works, move along, then move to the next chunk. And please don't forget our framework. You have to write the recipe first, sketch the logic, and then try to build the system. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next video.